chase you to the ends of the earth! That's pretty much the vibes I'm getting from this gameplay reveal trailer. Sorry to shout, that's very rude. I think the first thing that really stands out to me about the gameplay trailer is not just the epic entrance of Peter jumping out of Kirk Connors' basement and then transforming into symbiotic alter ego, like that was really badass, but the voice acting and performance from Yuri Lowenthal just hits you in the face, stronger than Peter's new symbiote powers, and he just nails it. Just listen to that grit and anger in his voice. Oh,
he's gonna wish he never came to New York.
So I've got to admit, I was a little bit skeptical about Yuri's voice acting in Insomniac's first Spider-Man game, just because I hadn't heard much from the guy before, at least not that I knew of anyway. And after the okay-ish performances in the Amazing Spider-Man games, I didn't really think that there were many decent Spider-Man voice actors around in the present day, apart from like Josh Keaton for example. But then the more footage and trailers they released for 2018 Spider-Man game just made me fall in love with Yuri's version of the character more and more. Like, the guy definitely understands Spider-Man, he delivers the quips so well, and even just the emotional lines and just his overall performance, just top notch. Plus, after the game, I only just found out that Yuri did the voice for the Spider-Man Unlimited game on mobile, the free-running one, Endless Runner, whatever, which I thought he was really good at, so yeah, excellent choice. And to see Insomniac's excellent choice implemented and improved upon here for the sequel, with a much more violent and aggressive Peter Parker, is brilliant. I mean, is aggression brilliant? In this sense, yeah, I guess. But yeah, you can just tell that this isn't really your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man anymore. And after seeing such a good representation of a modern and classic take on Spider-Man in the 2018 game, to then get a different side to Peter in this one is like just really exciting, because you just know that Insomniac will nail the character again, as well as obviously Yuri, in this sequel like they did the first time around. And not only is it great for the fans, who these games are for ultimately, but also for Yuri as a voice actor, because he can just show his range and just have a lot of fun playing another element to Peter Parker this time around. And having watched interviews with Yuri Lowenthal, he seems like such a genuinely really nice guy, and you can just tell he loves playing the character and will live with 1 million pigeons to do his best to do justice to the character. So obviously, I'm sure Peter Parker won't be donning the symbiote suit for the entirety of the game story, and we will just likely see a natural progression from friendly neighborhood Spider-Man to a darker and more aggressive wall crawler, instead of getting angsty Peter Parker straight away. So we will still see Yuri playing the lighter version of the character for a good portion of the game, so we'll still get our quips and stuff. But not only do we hear and see Peter's new aggressive side in this performance, but we obviously get to see the aggression in the way his character is written and in gameplay elements. Like, look at how brutal these moves are, especially this one, jeez! So whilst it does look fun getting to use your tendrils and symbiote powers, it's very prototype-esque, or just symbiote-esque, to like take down enemies in new and different ways, I personally prefer to see little things like this, where in the first game, or just in general, Spider-Man would normally look as if he's holding back his punches and showing his acrobatics and showing a little bit of fun and creativity in his fighting. Obviously this version of symbiote Spider-Man looks as if he's focused on just one thing, and that's to take out his opponents quickly and aggressively. Like in the first game, for example, this would just be one of those simple roundhouse kicks. And yeah, in the first game, some of the moves did pack a punch, especially the finishes, like the triangle circle ones. But yeah, this kick against the wall is so damn brutal. God! And I don't think it's this, because the game would need a rating of an 18, which I'm sure Insomniac would want to keep a 16, for example. But maybe looks as if there's blood coming out of this thug when Spider-Man delivers his final blow. But it could just be the guy's bandana face mask thing just moving. But if it was the case that it was blood, then yeah, it would definitely show Peter's aggression. And not only that, but I hope this guy isn't planning on starting a family anytime soon, because yeah, good luck to him. Symbiote Peter definitely knows how to target a man's weakness. I feel you, bro. And then when you see shots like this, it's just so damn eerie and creepy. The guy just looks like frickin' Slender Man, let alone Spider-Man. Plus, if you remember in the first game, the first time we were introduced to Otto Octavius, and you compare it to this shot, I feel like this shot is maybe trying to foreshadow something, maybe Peter becoming a lot more than just a symbiote Spider-Man, which we'll get to later. And then finally we've got the whole sequence and the action set piece of Peter and Miles giving chase to Kraven's hunters and the Lizard. So this new series of Spider-Man games could have very easily just omitted Miles Morales from the story and just had Peter Parker as the one and only Spider-Man. So it would literally just be Peter against Kraven and his hunters in the sequel. But obviously we have the dynamic duo of Batman and Robin. Wait, sorry, I mean the cooler versions, Peter and Miles. So we've got an experienced Peter who has been doing the job for at least 9 years now in this game, and Miles who's been in the job for maybe like a year now or two. So you have a good contrast between them in terms of experience and I guess naivety as well. When you do see these two Spider-Men clash in this little gameplay trailer, it's because you've got this corrupted Peter Parker, who again is less of a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and is more focused on the task at hand, kind of like maybe like Superior Spider-Man from the comics, for example. Whereas Miles, on the other hand, is more inclined to be the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, to help and save people. He's still got his innocence and naivety to him, but not in a childish way, but just a heroic way. Like here, for example, Peter would normally just gently let a civilian down after saving them and, ask if they're okay, and maybe just say something silly and goofy to cheer them up and help alleviate like a scary and stressful situation. But in this instance, symbiote Peter really doesn't give a crap. And as long as the civilian is alive and breathing, he's quite happy to just toss them onto the ground as if it was just an inanimate object. Well, that's a tough word to say. And because you have this contrast between the two Spider-Men, it makes for a really great story and interesting relationship and dynamic between the two, where you have Miles, who is trained to be like Peter's Spider-Man, but then when he sees Peter straying away from this, it's Miles' chance to be greater and to try and get his mentor to behave like he was previously. And even though I don't think Miles is the kind of person that would need a lot of moral guidance from Peter Parker anyway, as he seems like a mature young man already, and like a fine Spider-Man on his own without Peter. But having established this mentor and mentee relationship between the two, and even like a brotherly relationship, just makes it so much more interesting in this game, especially for Miles as he sees Peter going down the wrong path. And it gives Miles the chance to be a better hero, and not in the sense that he would take pride in being better than Peter, for example, but just being better as a person, improving as a hero, and this time giving Peter that moral guidance on doing the right thing. And it's also just very apparent at the end of the trailer when Miles speaks to Ganke about Peter's behaviour, saying that he's not really like this at all. And you could just hear in the tone of both of their voices that something's not quite right. And just to add to Peter's aggressive behaviour, I did mention some potential foreshadowing before that we saw in this brief cutscene and shot. And whilst it could be a stretch, does this foreshadowing mean that Peter will actually become Venom in the game? So I know Peter Parker isn't the usual host for Venom, but it would make for a really cool plot twist instead of expecting Harry Osborn or Eddie Brock to become Venom, for example. And then that could lead to a showdown between Peter and Miles, where they will definitely come face to face, or toe to toe, or tendril to web shooter. Is that gross? But yeah, it seems like they will have very differing opinions and eventually just clash against each other, and that would make for a cool encounter where Miles has got to use his Venom powers to beat Venom. Hey! Especially with the fact that Peter makes a comment about the fact that he has teeth.
You sure? He's got big teeth.
So do I.
So, why would you say that if you aren't going to have big, scary shark teeth like Venom? Plus, if you zoom in and look at his mask, there's a couple of weird seams that aren't obviously there in his normal masks, which looks like the perfect place for a mouth to appear. There's definitely a jaw structure there. But yeah, anyway, that's just a theory. A game theory. Did I nail it? Sorry, Matt Bat. But yeah, you never know, it could be true. And I'm sure I'm not the only one thinking this in general. So yeah, just comment down below what you think. Let me know if you think Peter is being too aggressive in this game. It's very dark. Definitely a darker direction than the first one. And I think Insomniac even said that before as well. Obviously, Peter will be aggressive because of his new symbiote friend, but is he taking it a step too far? Is he too angsty? Or are we just not used to seeing an angsty Peter because he was so cool and friendly and nice and amazing in the first game? And do you guys think Peter will end up becoming Venom? Let us know. Anyway, thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye for now. Oh, and here's some more videos you might like. Yeah, just click on them, they're good. Give them a watch. Okay, thank you, bye.
The death
of his mentor and father figure, Otto Octavius. When did he die?
See you later, older and less cool versions of me.